we are going to do a classic all-time segment, Today's Top 5. Today's Top 5 is where myself and or Steve rank things in clearly numerical order from best to worst. Today, we are going to be doing the top 5 teams that I am just most interested in watching this NFL season, or teams I think you should be watching for this NFL season. Put some good thought into this. So let's take a look at today's top 5. All right, so here we have a look at today's, number 5. We're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. Blind reveal this time. Ooh, this sounds back on all new sorts of little gimmicks, right? So, number 5, Philadelphia Eagles. Is it a little bit of bias? Maybe. I don't think it is. Let me explain. So, Saquon Barkley, right? That was the big free agency acquisition for obviously Philadelphia, but I think most of the NFL figured that was the acquisition of the offseason. I wasn't that impressed. We are not going to get worse by adding a top 5 running back in the league. We didn't need it. How are we supposed to efficiently run Jalen Hurts and RPOs when we got Saquon Barkley? What about our secondary that had to get revamped? Cooper DeJean, cool. Rookie. Lost Jason Kelsey. Re-signed Brandon Graham, who's 206. We could have used it somewhere else. I just don't find it to be that big of a needle mover. And what I think a lot of people have been asking themselves since last season, especially Eagles fans, is what the heck happened there at the end? I think that was the anomaly. I don't expect and I don't anticipate that being a repeat thing. I don't know how it even could be a repeat thing. But yeah, Philadelphia Eagles, almost at 4. Number 5. Number 4, Cincinnati Bengals. Had a little bit of a rough patch last year. Lost Joe Burrow in November. Just kind of had a rough going throughout the AFC. But he's supposed to be back fully healthy this coming season. He and his camp have given nothing but good reports that he's feeling great, doing a lot of full motion stuff. And I think the Bengals are truly the only team that can claim a little bit of a rivalry with Kansas City. I think they're the only team right now that has a legitimate shot at dethroning Kansas City. Now, I don't think it's going to happen this season, but they're the only team that could eventually do it. And the Bengals are interesting because when Burrow was out, they were still kind of maintaining. They weren't great, but they weren't awful. I mean, they finished season 9-8, up and down without Joe Burrow. So when they get him back, what is it going to look like? How is it going to be better? How is it going to change? I think they have nowhere to go with up. And like I said, I am excited to see how they can match up with Kansas City this year. We'll see. Cincinnati, number 4. Number 3, the Houston Texans. Now, listen, this might hurt some people, but we got to calm down on CJ Stroud. All right? We need to relax. See, top 10 quarterback? Sure. Are the Texans contenders? No. Are the Texans legitimate threats in the AFC? No. Can they make the AFC title game? Maybe. I mean, listen, CJ Stroud is almost the equivalent of Jalen Brunson in the NFL. Start seeing flashes of this really good play. And we're all of a sudden like, yo, this is the real thing. We got it. He's it, blah, 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 right? I don't think he is leading the Texans anywhere. Now, they got a nice lineup, right? Diggs went there. Nico Collins, Del Tank. It's a nice little lineup, right? Like I've been saying amongst all sports. Same with the Timberwolves. Youth is not translating deep in the playoffs. And they're young. Stephon Diggs has never actually came in and immediately changed franchises to do winning football. I think we've seen that happen a few times where it hasn't worked out for him, right? So I just think we are buying in too much too quick on Houston. They're a nice team. Should finish as a top 5 seed, at least in the AFC, top 6 for sure. But just pump the brakes on CJ and the Texans, right? Number 3 on today's top 5. Number 2, the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Listen, first of all, I need a Celsius break. Need a quick little sippy sip. The Chicago Bears had also a pretty nice offseason. Drafted who we thought was going to be the number 1 pick in Caleb Williams. Okay. When have the Bears been good recently? When was the last time you remember success in Chicago? Caleb Williams hasn't beaten anybody. Do we know that? Are we aware of that? Caleb Williams has beaten nobody noteworthy or legitimate in his college career, won very few things, but yet has been touted more highly than a lot of guys who have come before him who have clearly accomplished much more in their time in college. People are talking about a Bears Super Bowl run. Yo, dog. This might upset some people. It really might. But I don't think the Bears win more than 8 games. 8 games max. Max. I just think we're buying in once again. This is like all of a sudden this new thing. I don't know if it's everyone having recency bias or if there's just a new wave of fans coming in or what. But we buy in too quick. The Bears are not going to the Super Bowl. The Bears may not even make the playoffs. 8 games max. Bears are number 2. And number 1, the Buffalo Bills. Now, listen. I know what you're all going to say, okay? Listen, I know you're all going to say. I was a big Josh Allen supporter, but things have changed. Besides Stephon Diggs leaving, that was just, there were things going on before that which caused him to leave. And it's not like as soon as the bad person goes, the bad energy also goes with it. Stuff like that lingers. And there have been changes in Buffalo, players and in their coaching staffs and coordinators. And yet they're favored to win their division. And I know every year we do the song and dance with Buffalo where, where they're at right now. They're favored to go deep. They're, high betting odds to go and win the Super Bowl. I think I've been drinking the Kool-Aid for a little bit. But like I said, too much has happened this offseason. You can't recover from stuff like that. I believe more in Josh Allen, the individual, than the Buffalo Bills as a team. So I don't think Josh Allen's play is going to change much, maybe drop a little bit. But the Bills I don't think will have as much regular season success as in years past, just because of how much has gone on. That, like I said, that's hard to kind of get around in one single season. So I'm excited and curious more or less to see where they're going to finish up. But they round off today's top 5. There you have them. Bills, Bears, Texans, Bengals, and Eagles. BB's there. BBB, Big Baller Brand, baby. That is today's top 5. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
Listen to the sound. I listen to the sound.